CCR TV, channel of God's love. A warm welcome to all our viewers on this episode of Goenche Tarvotti. We have in our studios today a high-profile Goenche Tarvotti who started his career at sea on luxury cruise liners at a very young age. His entry-level job was that of a curious and hard-working bar boy. But that did not deter him from thinking big and nurturing his ambition with grit and determination. During the course of his service, he has served on several cruise liners, from Celebrity to Festival and Thompson and to Ambassador Cruise Lines. As a proud sailor, he has traversed across continents and visited 121 countries. Today, he makes every Goenche Tarvotti proud for having climbed up the ladder of success to the prestigious position of a hotel director on board the cruise liner. CCR TV in our Goenche Tarvotti series brings to you life stories of Goan sailors from different segments, and we sincerely hope it will inspire our young aspirants who wish to make a career in the world maritime sector. We are pleased to welcome Goenche Tarvotti to our studios, Allwyn Furtado from Naveli. Welcome, sir, to our studios today.
Thank you, Daniel.
And in fact, we should thank you because at very short notice, you accepted our invite and you are here today. Thank you very much.
First of all, thank you as well for inviting me to the show, to CCR TV, and I'm glad to be a part of the show as well. And I look forward to the next.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and we are also thankful to you because basically Goenche Tarvotti is a program for you. When I say you, for our Goan seamen, and we are very proud of them.
Thank you.
Let's shoot.
Let's go.
Can you share some memories of your growing up years as a teenager in Goa?
That looks like just yesterday.
Okay. Okay.
No, actually, I was born in Bombay and I grew up in Goa.
Okay.
We came down to Goa, and my schooling started at Loyola High School.
Mm-hmm.
So I did my schooling at Loyola's, and then I went off to RMS for my college. And then it just, I was actually looking to find a job, to do my hotel management.
I see.
And at that time it was really very difficult to get placements in hotel management schools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I just managed to join Leela Beach, Goa in those days, somewhere in 94.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, in the schooling days were nice. It was, I was more quite a sporty guy. I was the captain of the Loyola basketball team as well in those old years.
I see.
And yeah, we've won a lot of matches till the state levels. And then I played for Margam Basketeers as well. I played a while, played at Kampal as well. And then I was also the Gymkhana secretary for RMS. So,
I see.
And I did play basketball for RMS as well, and played handball as well for them. So I was more into the sports part of it.
I see.
And after that, I had to get into work. So at the age of 18, I managed to join Leela's as a trainee assistant steward. So that was my start in the department, in the hotel industry.
Now that you had already joined at a very young age, Leela's, as you said, how many years did you actually, serve there as a trainee?
Actually, the trainee period was just a brief, because you go in as a trainee assistant steward, and then you have a probation period, which is like 3 months or so. And then you get into your promotions, you get into full-fledged trainee assistant steward, then assistant steward. And then I was a butler as well. That was my last part of it, because I did few different restaurants in Leela's. And then eventually I was a butler, and in that year I believe it was the ONGC conference as well. Mm-hmm. So we had a lot of dignitaries from all around the world who came to the hotel. as well as being a part of the butler. I was also invited to the chairman's house in Kannur, Captain Nair.
Yes.
He was the chairman of Leela groups of hotels at that time, and yeah, it was an exciting time. It was.
So Mr. Allwyn, what actually made you choose a career at sea, and that too on a cruise liner? Now that since you had already made your position stable in Leela's, perhaps you could have continued your career there. What was the reason for choosing a career at sea?
Actually, I always wanted to be at sea because a lot of my father actually was a seaman as well. My
Okay,
father
so
was.
you are not a first generation
No.
seaman,
My
right?
grandfather was a seaman as well.
Okay.
So basically, it was sort of I wanted to see the world, and initially when you are young, you want to go out and experience. Oh, let's see what a cruise liner looks like.
Can I say you had an adventurous mind at it?
It was
You were an adventurous. So that was one thing that weighed on your mind.
correct,
You work, you earn, and you see the world
and you see the world as well. Yeah,
as a perk.
that's the bonus.
Yeah. Okay.
And initially it was lovely. It was like coming out from going onto a ship. I had to do the interviews and all the stuff. And my first company was Festival Cruises,
I see.
where technically I just got a job as a bar boy. Yeah,
Okay.
that was the entry level, and it was difficult. It was super difficult.
In fact, I was wanting to ask you that during that time in the maybe mid 90s, as you said 1995, 96, how easy or difficult was it to go on board the ship? And with all your experience, you said you entered at a very entry level post of a bar boy.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Bar
How
boy.
difficult was it to get yourself in?
That was challenging because always the grass looks greener on the other side. So you see all when you come on a cruise ship, you see, oh, it's so beautiful. You see all the Tarvottis
Right.
coming down
I
and
know.
buying these big houses, and oh, it's so much of money here
Yeah.
there. But the life is tough. So basically, the entry level, the job which I got at that time was bar boy, like a bar utility.
Yeah.
And my first ship was in 1997. It was called Flamenco. It was a new ship for Festival Cruises at that time. And I think my first salary was $350 or something like that in those days. So
Quite a sum in the 90s.
was good money back
Yeah.
back in India. Was good
Yeah,
money.
good money.
But when you're working on the ships and you're young and
Yeah.
restless and you want to do everything, you spend more money than So it
You
was
still feel a shortfall.
the money is never enough. And then basically the responsibilities of a bar boy is just to clean up, And in those days, I think I had the two best friends which I had. One was the mop, the other one was the hoover.
Okay.
So those were the it's basically doing all the prep jobs for a bar. So you will clean the bar, you will stock it up, you will buy. And in those days, it was like my bar was on the 12th deck.
I see.
And elevators
Up
were
and down. Yeah.
elevators were not only for guest use,
Okay.
So imagine you have to take this 50 liters of barrels and take it from deck 2 to deck 12.
12.
So yeah, we did it all.
It was a tough job in that sense, no?
It was.
How did you adjust your mind and body to something like this, because you were in a comfy zone in Goa. Maybe the salary was not that much in $300, but nevertheless, from that to this, what was your mind then? Whether you have taken the right decision of joining at this point?
For a while, I thought.
How did you adjust yourself?
No, for a while, when I went on the ships, it was so difficult, So I normally used to get these calling cards in those days.
Yes.
So you to go onto the
Call
phones.
back home.
So I was in one of the American ports in Puerto Rico, San Juan, I can't remember. And I was calling my mom up, crying on the phone, I want to come back home.
I see.
I said, I cannot do this. And my mom says, yeah, okay, if you cannot do it, come home. It's, and I think I made the right decision. I stayed back.
Actually, mother's heart always matters, no?
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
softens very hard,
Yeah.
fast.
I was just telling her like, oh, mom, the life is too tough here. The ship is moving. It's rocking. It's too. And in those days, it was not like nowadays.
Stability.
It's stable. You know, we used to have stabilizers as well. But the thing is, in those years, there was not very strong MLC or ILO rules. So like
Okay, yeah, yeah.
so you could just used to get only one piece of paper, like starting at 9 o'clock. But I say, what time we finish?
Nothing like that. Okay.
But that was the start of my career on the ships.
At that point of time, where you were on that cruise liner, and now, how do you feel about the entire journey from there till now? You told your mom, I can't do this, I want to come back home. For some moment, I think you melted your mom's heart with your sobs and your cries. And then now, as you look back, what do you have to say?
Yeah, it was, looking at the years passed by, it was been like a incredible journey, and it's been up and downs as well. It's never always the easiest way to come up. And 97, I joined the ships. In 98, I lost my father, and it was challenging, and we are not financially broke or something like that. It was just that the will to go on. So I said, okay, let's do it, because it was, my father was a chief steward as well on the ships, and so I said let's carry on and let's.
How many more siblings do you have?
I have my sister and my brother. My brother was a captain as well.
Okay.
He was a captain on cargo ships, so on containers and things like that. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2018.
I see.
That was another sad blow. It was quite difficult because he was quite young. He's younger than me. And he also started his life the same way. He started as AB and OAS and then a AB, and then he managed to give his exams and all these things, and finally he became a captain as well. So whenever people look at me on the ship and they call me captain, I say, guys, please, I'm not a captain, but I have the captain's blood in us.
Mr. Allwyn, this is what we want to bring out in the life of a Goan sailor, It's not an easy job. You start at the bottom and you rise up to the top.
Right.
And here we have a true life story. You have said about yourself. You have mentioned about your brother also. This is what we want to highlight in this Goenche Tarvotti. Thank you for sharing this. Tell me something, Mr. Allwyn. How many cruise lines have you interchanged? As you are progressing in your career as a sailor?
I think I changed a few cruise companies, because basically, like when I joined in as Festival was the first company, and I came up till becoming a bartender there. From gradually getting promoted, and then I had to change the company, and I went into a cruise line called Louis Cruise Lines, which is based in Cyprus. And Louis Cruise Lines, basically it has a few smaller companies as well, like Louis Cruise Lines, Royal Olympic and all the stuff. And like Louis Cruise Lines was taking care of Thomson Cruises, so I worked with Thomson Cruises.
Okay.
Then I was doing Thomson Destiny, where I became assistant bar manager, and then I became a bar manager, and that's where I met my wife as well. My wife is from Romania.
Oh, I see.
And she was to be a cabin stewardess on the ship in those days. Now she is a head housekeeper in Edinburgh. She's living there. I live sometimes in Edinburgh as well. That's where I met her, Thomson Destiny. And after Thomson, I went off to joining CMV, because I was quite close friends to the CEO of the cruise line, Christian Veronic. I have a big respect for him as well.
Okay.
He's something like the godfather which I have, who kept me, okay.
Under his tutelage.
Yeah. So then I went back to Cruise Maritime Voyages, and I worked with them till 2012, and then went to Celebrity Cruises. That was a game changer because it was American Cruise Line, and the ball game is different. You know, it's bigger ships, is 3,300 guests, and it's a totally different ball game. I worked there as a beverage operations manager, and that was a nice break for me. And in 2015, I decided actually wanted to stop ships. It was getting a bit too much.
I see.
You know, sometimes working on the ships is nice, but also you tend to go far away from your family.
Yes.
And
a long period of
for
time.
a long period of time, because normally nowadays it's easier because I work 4 months, 2 months off.
4.5, yeah.
But in those days it was like 9 months, you know, work all of the first contract I made it like 1.5 year.
Okay.
And then I wanted to work to find a job on land in Edinburgh, and I said, okay, let's see how it goes, and find a job in Edinburgh. It didn't happen, you know. It was difficult to find a job because, especially when you work on a cruise line and you work in all these years, it's difficult for you to change.
Yes.
You know, it gets a little bit tricky. And yeah, so Celebrity, and then I came back to Cruise Maritime Voyages, and I called my CEO Christian and asked him, do you have a job for me? And he says, what do you want to come as? I said, okay, Captain. So
Okay.
I joined back Cruise Maritime Voyages, and in 2017 I got a chance to open a new ship at the Columbus.
I see.
And so I was flying all the way to New Zealand to take the ship from New Zealand to bring it to Bremen.
From the yard.
Yeah, from no, it was sailing. It was sailing. We took it from
Okay.
from a sailing ship. It was Piano, Australia, and then we converted it to CMV Columbus, and I was food and beverage manager there. So I got promoted to food and beverage manager, and after a couple of seasons, I then went back to Columbus as the hotel director. So I was doing hotel director on Magellan and Columbus.
I see.
And yeah, and unfortunately COVID hit. Cruise lines got stopped. Our cruise line got bust actually, and we were left without a job. So it was like almost 2 years without a job. So I came back to India and all the stuff, and it was also a challenging period, the COVID, because you know, the seamen, they tend to you know, spend with two hands when they have a chance. You know, so after some time it was like, yo, everybody has to think about their money. You have to spend it wisely.
With a single hand.
Yeah. And yeah, and luckily the company came back. I mean, we had a company which was called Ambassador Cruises. So I work now for Ambassador Cruises. I opened the first ship for them, Ambience, and now I was on the Ambition, which was actually the Mistral, which I was in 1999.
Okay.
So it was like, you know, where you was like a bar boy and an assistant waiter, and then you go back on the same ship as a hotel director.
At the top level, yeah.
And I still
Quite nostalgic, isn't
I
it?
still sit in the same chair, you know, because before the hotel director said, oh, can you get me a coffee and water? And I used to take my tray and, you know, go to serve him. And now I like sit in the same chair and I say, can I have a coffee or water?
The roles have changed.
Roles have changed.
That's life.
Yeah.
Is I mean, what life is all about, no?
Yeah.
Mr. Allwyn, could you tell us now briefly about your present job profile as a director, hotel director on board the ship, and how is it like? What are the challenges that you face at this position?
Basically, you know, after working all this years on ships, you know, it's almost 27 years now, if I can get it right. And coming up to, you know, from the ranks, from down below to you have a very strong hold on the job. Basically, a cruise liner is got like the cruise liner which I work for now, the Ambition, the Ambience, they have like 1,300 guests. Yeah, and we have like somewhere around about 500 to 600 crew.
Crew and officers.
Like Ambition has 500 crew. From 500 crew members, 400 are responsible under my responsibility because I'm the hotel director. It's the biggest operation on cruise vessels. And then you have the deck and engine as well. So basically, technically, it is the captain who's in charge of the whole operations.
Running of the ship.
Then you have a chief engineer, then you have the staff captain, and then you have a hotel director. So three of us come in that part of it. So basically, the whole the steering committee is the captain, the chief engineer, the staff captain, and myself as a hotel director. And under me, I have somewhere around about, depends on cruise ships. Sometimes, like this ship, I have 400 crew members under me. Some of the ships I have 450. And that belongs like the galleys. So the executive chef, the restaurant manager, the bar manager, the financial controller, the destination experiences for taking you to different excursions. Shop managers, spa manager, casino managers. So all these are chief housekeeper. They work under me.
Under you.
Yeah. We have a sanitation officer as well. So basically all this are my department heads. So
Allwyn, could you tell us, what were your major challenges, during this journey of yours to come to this level? And I understand that Goan seafarers are always receiving a very high level of respect from the other nationalities as far as shipping is concerned. So how was it in your case? Was there any kind of discrimination? Was there any kind of differences shown towards you? Or was it
not
passage?
really. No. It basically on the ships we have zero policy for discrimination. Or
you work like one unit,
one team,
family.
one team. Yeah.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter where you come from. So you have a lot of challenges because it is a lot of the crew come on board. Sometimes they are seasick, sometimes they miss their families. They want to go back home, and you overcome this a few challenges. It just takes you time and patience and dedication and perseverance to come through this. But normally, for me, being Indian hotel director, I actually don't have any favoritism. For me, we have like almost 27, 28 different nationalities working on board.
Yes.
So all of us are the same. We treat each one the same. It doesn't matter you come from India or you could come from Indonesia or Romania or Bulgaria,
Philippines,
Philippines as well. We have actually India has got the biggest number of crew on board. A lot of them are from Goa, from Kerala, and nowadays is getting a bit huge. A lot of more states are coming into it. Before it was only Goans you could find on ship.
Yeah.
Now you can find people coming from Bombay, from Delhi, from
Dehradun
Dehradun, and
yes.
yeah,
which states were otherwise not known to be exploring this option for jobs.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Especially for the cruise ships. Normally the cruise ships was basically Goans and Keralites, a lot of Keralites. Like our corporate chef is from Kerala, so we have a lot of chefs from Kerala. Well, we have some very good chefs from Goa as well. And even the restaurant manager now who is on board is from Goa as well. He's from Kunkulim.
I see.
So we have a mixed nationality. And altogether on mostly it's like 27 to 28 different countries. You'll get the odd ones from here and there.
And all working as one single unit.
One team, yes.
And that's how.
That's the formula. You have to work as one team, to achieve your goal.
Yes. But how do you motivate this multiple nationalities, to give their best of performance? Finally, what will count for you as a hotel director is the feedback your guests are giving.
Right.
Am I right?
Right.
So how do you keep your staff motivated? Since they come from different nationalities, different mindset, different cultures, once they are on board the ship, they have to be as one.
Yeah, it's a tough balance, It's like a lot of the crew come, and we work together. So basically, over the years, we know each other, So a lot of the crew, they respect me because I've been working with them for a while, almost 5-10 years, and uh, every cruise line or every ship, they, they motivate their crew. We will have like a crew welfare which takes care of crew activities. We could make like a bingo and raffle and a tour to go to see Paris. So we could hire a bus. I still remember taking a tour when I was doing China, and I said, "Oh, I never seen the Great Wall of China, the Great Wall." I said, "Let's take a tour." So we took 2 buses. It took around 80, 90 crew members, and we went for a tour to the Great Wall of China, and that's how we do it. We go down to, like, if the ship goes to Rouen or Honfleur, we see, okay, the closest place is the Paris. So let the boys and girls go off to see the Eiffel Tower, So these are the perks of the job as well.
And there you mingle as one family. It's like an outing.
Yes.
It's like a small picnic for them. Am I right?
And
as
also, we have to see the schedules. So if we manage to give them some time off, like, because these tours are like almost 8 hours.
Because back home the ship activity has to be running also.
Because we still have to take care of the guests as well.
Exactly.
So so we try to take care of the crew as well and motivate them. And also the thing is, it's good because when you invest in your crew and you see them, they get promoted. They come in like me, like maybe a bar boy, and after a few years they might become a bar manager, and or they join in the kitchen as a utility,
up the ladder,
and then maybe become a chef one day. So that keeps the crew motivated on board.
Tell me something, sir. You have just given us so much of your inputs about your own self, how you join at that level to this level. Now in Goa we have many ambitious young men, and they want to make a career on the ship. Now what it appears to me is, look, that the field is wide open to rise up. Am I right? Right from the lowest level to the topmost level. What would you tell our viewers who are watching this program, that their mindset should be willing to be willing to work in any condition, and hard and with dedication?
Exactly.
Because
first
openings are there.
Yeah. I mean, it is always your hard work which counts. The first thing is you need to give 100% of yourself. Focus on your goals, where you want to come up in the next 5 years or the next 10 years, because every ship or every career will give you support. They will train you on your job to do better. So basically, first of all, how any manager would look at it is like, oh, the boy is working very hard, oh, he's very smart, he's getting a lot of positive comments from the guests, he's doing he's going out of the mile, he's walking the extra mile. That's the first part, the hard work, the dedication, the passion, what you want to do. Sometimes you tend to do it from your heart.
Correct.
And over the time, people will watch you. They will see over you, oh, the boy is doing great, oh, this girl is doing great, so what is her next career path, so let me put her in the pipeline, let's get her to the next level.
So you have a way of shortlisting such.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And then give them the right placement, higher up.
So whenever you finish your season, normally when you come on a ship on the first, if you are brand new to the ships, you get a evaluation which is a periodic probation evaluation. So this says, okay, his command on English is good, or his this, that, his work skills are great. Then once you get the probation period done, so then you get your evaluation at the end of your season. So this one will determine whether you are a potential candidate to move to the next level.
Correct.
So you could join in, like, for example, you could join in as cleaner, and if the chief housekeeper sees that the boy or the girl is doing great, we'll say, okay, let's put her to assistant cabin steward or cabin steward, and then if they are doing great as a cabin steward, we'll say, okay, we have an opening for a housekeeping supervisor, so let's put them there.
Okay.
So that's where you have
so
to.
So the progression is there.
There is.
Provided you are willing to show your willingness and hard work.
Hard
am I
work.
right?
Yeah.
Tell me, Mr. Allwyn, what would be the difference of being a hotel director on board a cruise liner where you have 1,000 plus 1,500 odd guests plus the crew and the officers? The difference of being a hotel director on board the cruise and being a general manager of a luxury hotel on land. How would you look at this two positions?
It is totally okay. It is not so different basically, but when you are a general manager on land, basically you are on land. So if you run out of chicken, you go to the supermarket and you get it.
Okay.
Or you running out of potatoes, you go there to the market and you get it. And you are all connected with water supplies and all this stuff.
Right.
Whereas on a ship, you need to be very. This is part of where it comes. My job comes as well. Whereas logistics, we have to see to get in enough food supplies for
sufficient stocks.
Stocks, and that also depends. It's not only the food supply; it needs beverages. It needs a lot of stuff. So it is. It's challenging working on the ship, so you need to be very calculative, and also it's not like on the land. Okay, you have fresh fruits and vegetables and all the stuff. You can get it anytime. We need to be very careful because the fresh fruits and vegetables will last technically 12 days to 14 days. So you need to have plans to source or to resupply the ships. And so we have different suppliers here and there as well. Then also it is, it's a moving vessel. The ships move time to time, so you need to be careful with, the area which you are cruising. Maybe you are in the Bay of Biscay and you have like 10 meters waves and 7 meters waves. So you have a lot of breakages. You have to be very careful. So
this has to be taken into consideration.
Yeah. So
your mind is constantly planning. Can I say like that? It's constantly planning.
Yeah.
Not only your stocks and your stores, your fresh fruits and your things, drinks and beverages, but also the condition of the sea route where you are doing your voyage. Am I right?
Right, because cruise liners, they will sell cruises by destinations. So
Correct.
they want to go, like say, to the Northern Lights to see, to go to Norway, or we go to Iceland, or you do the Baltic cruises. Okay, now with the war in Russia, it's reduced because now the ships are not going to St. Petersburg anymore. Doing the world cruise, I've done like almost 4 world cruises, going around, and time to time you would face rough sea conditions, and basically that's where I come and where I plan the cruise. So if the cruise says we are doing like a 7-day cruise to Norway, so it's okay, we'll do the embarkation say in Newcastle or in London, or we get in the guests and then we will plan the whole cruise. So in that we have to do also, we look at the financial things as well. So I need to know that we are making money as well.
Correct.
So I will plan the cruise in such a way that we are making money for the bars, the restaurants. We have the specialty restaurants as well, and entertainment as well. Because in the end of the day, the guests which come on a cruise, they come for a perfect holiday.
Right.
They want to have to see the different destinations. You could do multiple destinations, or you could see, people will say, okay, we want to go to see the fjords, or we want to go to see Iceland, or we want to go to see, so, and then they want service, the food is a top part of it, and entertainment. So basically all this comes into that hotel department, because on a cruise ship, we provide the food is a part of the ticket. Entertainment is part of the ticket. Your cabins are part of the ticket as well. So basically you don't pay extra for this unless you want to go in for a specialty dining where you want to have a surf and turf, or you want to have the Indian restaurant, which is a specialty restaurant. So this is where the guests would normally choose to go and pay extra. Overall, yes, the bottom line also is to make some money.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tell me, sir, right now on the ship that you are sailing, the cruise liner, how many Goan sailors do you have on board, and how is your equation with them? Being a Goan hotel director and you have your own Goan boy there,
on this
their comfort zone will be different perhaps.
Technically, I'm more tough with the Goans.
Okay, okay.
You know, I tend to keep them on their toes most of the time, you know, because normally you would come like, you know, oh, he's an Indian, he's a Goan, he's taking care of his
No
Goan.
lethargy should set in.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh?
And the people should not be saying like, oh, because he's a Goan, he's taking care of the Goan boys, you know.
Okay.
So I have to be
Balance.
balanced. But I tend to give them a little bit more jobs, you know, because I can understand them, I can feel them, and I can see what is their you know, positive strengths, and
Okay.
like now on the ship which I have a Goan boy who is actually housekeeping. I just recently promoted him to a housekeeping supervisor, and I didn't know he comes from the same village I come from.
Okay, okay.
He comes from Devsua, you know, and basically what happened was he was a housekeeping cleaner, and then he went off to become a room service, a pantry attendant or something like that. And I said, oh, the guy is doing a good job. And the chief housekeeper came to me. She said, Allwyn, we need to promote this guy. I like him. He's very good in his job. And I said, okay, let's go for it. Let's get him for an interview and we see how he is doing. And I didn't know that he comes from my country. He comes from the same village which my father comes from, you know. And he got promoted, and he did a very great job as well this time as well. And I like the way he is progressing. He's doing well, quite smart with the computers as well, quite smart with his job, you know, and well respected. All the crew respect him a lot as well. And the ship was in Edinburgh. So the ship was in Edinburgh, and my cousin also lives in Edinburgh. He's just come down to Goa as well. And he came on board and for a visit, you know. I wanted to show him the ship. I took him to the captain, to the bridge, and all these things. Showed him a little bit of the crew messes, the crew bar, and all this stuff. And then he met this boy, and he said, "Oh, Nike, you know." I said, "How come you know him?" He said, "Allwyn, this guy is from Shishini, from Devsua."
It's a small world, like.
It's a small world, you know. And yeah, we have like on my ship at this moment, we have somewhere around about almost 200. Indians working with us, deck, engine, and hotel. Most of them are in the hotel, and I think from that maybe around 70 to 80 would be from Goa. So it's quite a huge percentage
big
of
number.
Goan numbers, yeah.
हांव तुका आतां एक स्पेसिफीक क्वेश्चन विचारता आनी तें म्हणल्यार तूं एक गोंयकार हेड ऑफ द हॉटेल, तुजे इतले गोंयकार आसात, आमी गोंयकार फेस्तां मनोवपी, पार्ट्यो करपी, जाल्यार तूं तुज्या ह्या गोंयकार स्टाफाक गोंयची फेस्टिवल्स बी करपाक संदी दिताय. आर यू गिविंग देम एन ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी टू सेलिब्रेट गोवन फेस्टिवल्स ऑन बोर्ड द शिप?
We do. I mean, the boys actually, like all the cruise ships all the ships basically will have a crew welfare. And so basically the crew
You
get
encourage
to encourage them. Yeah, we even the company. You know, sometimes when you have some because we have a lot of Goan boys in the galley and all this thing. When we have the Saint Francis Xavier's feast and all, they will make some things down. They'll make some patties and all the stuff. You know,
all by themselves.
And make some cherries pulao. You know.
Okay.
So the guys they have their own fun as well. They wouldn't.
So Goan chourises are not in short supply on board the ship.
They're
always there.
They are smuggled.
Smuggled. Okay, that's a trade secret.
Because you get a lot of crew coming every time, so basically they'll carry you some sausages and get some moles and some prawn balchao.
These delicacies are there.
I normally eat in the crew mess because there are a lot of Goan boys who will come
and perhaps these delicacies.
Yeah, they'll give you one bowl.
Sir, have a bite.
Sir, take this for you. Because on this ship which I work, we have like a common mess where officers and the crew we eat together. So normally I will sit down with the crew time to time to eat with them, and being Asian, being Indian, I prefer to eat in the crew mess because there's more options of Goan food there or Indian food.
Okay.
So you'll always have a rice, you'll always have a curry, and the rest of the dishes are sometimes the chef makes. There's a cycle. There's I think a 14-day cycle.
Okay.
where you can make like the chef will make a pork vindaloo as well. We have this ingredients for that. But a lot of this homemade stuff is bought by, and it's tricky. Sometimes you could get caught on the on your airport, but many boys, they manage to bring it in. Yeah.
Tell me something, Mr. Allwyn. Can you recall any incident wherein you had to use all your professional acumen, and to rise up to certain challenging situation as part of your duty? Anytime situation like this has, you have faced, and you had to bring things under control?
We will get all the time, working on the ships is it's a challenging job because you'll have different problems or issues, but everything has a solution. So because working in the industry for a long time, you've seen the worst as well, you've seen the best. I mean, you've seen fires in the laundry, I've seen collisions, I've seen a bit of grounding here, propulsion failures.
I see.
27 years at sea gives you a lot of experience. But there are always ways to come out of it. Like, there was one time which there was a ship which I was working, was pulled at the back by the tug, and it grounded actually. So basically the propellers got a bit damaged, so we had to cancel the cruises. Financial damages, financial losses for the company as well. The challenge was to send 1,400 guests back to their place from Amsterdam, from I think it was in Netherlands. And so we have this type of challenges. Then you have like crew matters. We have always challenges sometimes with crew matters. There's many reasons but everything has a solution.
I'm given to understand at least the basic complaint about from the crew is that they go through stress, homesickness.
Yeah.
They feel homesick.
Yeah.
And then perhaps it reflects on their job profile. How do you, have you any time come across such situation from the staff, and how do you bring them back into the working mold, if your mind is disturbed, you cannot work in that sense.
You get it time to time, you will get these things, but then you'll always, give the crew members, you talk to them, you feel them welcome to, they can come to my office, sometimes I tell them, guys, okay, don't worry, things will get better, things will, it's not the end of the world, it's just a phase which you have to pass through. So you need to get the crew in your confidence, they should be able to talk to you freely and respect you at the same time, but they can always tell you what their problems are. Like now as well, I get a lot of messages from a crew from Myanmar and from here and from Goa and from Bombay, hi sir, how are you, and all these things. And there are days which are cloudy, there are days which are sunny, so basically you just need to hold them and get them through.
Ups and downs of
life. Because working on the ships is like also your family is back home. A lot of things can happen, and then you get a little bit stressed out. Oh, my family is back home, and they're like 4,000 kilometers away. I don't know how many miles away. You start to, but you just need to give them, hold them, and let's do it. It's just a passing phase. Things will get better.
So, being a hotel director of Goan origin, what would be your advice to our young aspirants who would like to make a career on board the cruise liners especially, and there are many of our youngsters who have that urge and the desire to be part of cruise shipping? What would be your sincere advice to the aspirants as well as to their parents, because they have to guide them in the end?
Yeah, I mean, for the people, for the Goan youth who would like to come on cruise ships and all these things, that's just the start. You could come in different positions in different departments. First of all, dream big, make your plans, and how I would say is hope they get the motivation to pursue their dreams, So hard work would be one for sure which they would need to do, and you need to have a lot of passion for your job. You need to commit yourself, and the best thing is to give it your best shot. And things will always, somebody's going to watch you, somebody's always going to be there to hold your hand and bring you to the next levels. And hopefully, you could also be a food and beverage director or a hotel director in the future. Not only in the hotel department, there are people who are on the deck department as well, who are like on cruise ships. We had like Indian Goan offices as well. So basically, there's a lot of scope of for all of us to grow. And nowadays, I see that the cruise industry is getting back after the COVID period. A lot of the cruise lines have actually all are fully functional, and I see them. They are coming up with new ships with 4,000, 5,000 guests, and
huge.
It's going to have a big market actually. Basically,
In this respect, I have a question for you. Though our time, we are running out of time, but I have two more questions to ask you, Mr. Allwyn. First thing is, where do you see cruise shipping in the next 10 years in the Indian context, as well as far as job opportunities are concerned?
First, let me go from the passengers' aspect, from the Indian guest point of view. I've started to see that a lot of the Indian guests start to cruise now. Everybody is going different places. Before they used to go for holidays, but now they feel that a cruising is a much better holiday because you can go on a cruise and see 5 different countries, and we get a lot of Indians coming on cruises now. So basically, there is a market opening up for the Indian guests to go on cruises as well. There's one which is running up now as well, which is running out from Bombay, if I'm not mistaken, the Cordelia, with a lot of Indian guests as well. In my ships, which is the foreign sectors, we're having a lot of Indian guests coming there as well, and it's good. It's growing, and I see that soon. I feel there will be a lot more ships coming into Goa, cruising out of India, maybe from Bombay, Cochin, Goa, and also this will bring a lot of jobs for the Goan, for the Indian community as well, and Goa being a big market for the cruise crew, so there will be a lot of jobs coming up as well.
Yeah, talking about Goa, right now Indian ports are opening up to domestic cruises, and Goa is also in the loop on the west coast of India. How do you see the prospects of domestic cruising in the next 5 years?
I think
including the port of Goa, and Goa as a destination, tourist destination.
Goa has always been a beautiful destination for a lot of the cruises, not only the Indian cruises, the foreigners as well. When we used to do the world cruises, we used to come down to Goa as well. I think I didn't manage to come to Goa, but the cruise line, other ships did. They came with one ship called Marco Polo. So Goa is actually a good destination for the cruise, and it's a highlight in the itinerary as well. And normally a lot of the foreign guests will come, like take a trip, get off in Cochin, take a trip to Taj Mahal, stay 2 days over there, and then they join the ship in Goa, or they join the ship in Bombay. So there is actually, India has a lot of potential for the industry as well. It's for the cruise industry, and for the Indian guests as well, and for the foreign guests as well. But there is a lot of restrictions. Basically, how I saw last time when I was coming to India with one of the ships, there was a lot of restrictions with like plastics. You could not have a single use plastic on board. Your fuel should be MGO, I guess. I'm not sure about it. But they had a lot of restrictions when we came last time. So it is the government as well is trying to put in a lot of checks, and let's see how it goes. So for sure, I feel that in the next few years, the cruising should come more into Goa as well.
Okay. Thank you very much, Allwyn.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you very much for sharing so many of your professional life, your challenges and everything that goes with cruise shipping. Thank you for the time that we have given us.
Thank you, Daniel.
So that was Allwyn Furtado, the Goan origin hotel director on board the cruise lines. He has in fact spoken straight from his heart. The manner in which he joined at a lower level and with real grit and determination, he rose up on the ladder of progression in his career and today come to this very prestigious position. One thing that he has said is dream big. When you're talking about young Goan aspirants who want to make their career on board the ships, he said dream big and work hard with determination. And that's how it should be. Keep watching your favorite channel, the CCR TV channel, and your program, Goenche Tarvotti. Thank you.